Namaste. Welcome back to our Karma Demystified. So today we are covering session 7. We will systematically unfold or move on to the next topic. So let's quickly recap or ground or pick up the thread where we left, and we will continue to the next topic in a very logical manner, systematic manner. So let's start. So let's do a quick recap what we covered last week. So we said karma has two dimensions. Taking a step back, karma has two dimensions. One is karma is the kriya you perform. Second one is the karma is the adrishta phala, which is going to influence your present karma. So this is the two dimensions of karma, and every kriya you do has two different types of results. One is drishta phalam and adrishta phalam. Drishta phalam will fructify immediately, which you have a direct experience, and adrishta phalam will fructify in the future, and that is what is factored as the karmic influence, which we call it as deva. So that we saw in the two weeks back, and last week we talked about three types of karma. We explored, meaning we elaborated this a lot. What is sanchita karma? What is prārabdha karma? What is agami karma? Sanchita karma is the accumulated of karmas of all the factors. I said like it is a cloud storage of all the data. And Prārabdha karma is what is needed for this life, what is fructified for this life. And agami karma or kriyamana karma is the actions we perform this life, which will be added, the adrishtam will be always added to the sanchita karma, which may fructify in the next life or the life after that, we don't know. This is what we have seen. So we'll continue to the next topic. So here, one important point we need to understand here is, if prārabdha karma is going to determine everything I do, are we truly helpless? Lot of people think that karma is like a fate, or karma is like destiny. I was planning to cover that. We may do that next week. We will try to understand the literal meaning of what is fate, from where the word came in, what is the Latin word, and what is the exact English meaning, and what is destiny. And also there is a lot of confusion in the Hindu tradition itself. Even there is a lot of confusion in the Advaita Vedanta tradition. You know why? Because there is one shloka in the Bhagavad Gita. Chapter 11, shloka 33. Krishna says something which people misinterpret as fate. So whenever there is a complicated shloka is like that, we are supposed to go back to the traditional commentary and try to understand the meaning. So Shankaracharya brilliantly unfolds that shloka very nicely. So we are going to talk all about that next week. But the question is, are we truly helpless? Because if prārabdha is going to determine everything, are we completely helpless? If karma is going to influence our life situation, the scriptures tells us very clearly that our effort shapes our response. And this understanding is very critical. We have some role to play. It's not that everything is predetermined. And the confusion is that shloka, meaning I always understand. Krishna said, I killed everyone in the past and you are only an instrument. That is misinterpreted. So we are going to take even that shloka and try to understand a little bit so that this confusion is going to go away next week. So karma explains the life. That is the point. These are quotes from Mahabharata. Brilliant Vyasa gives beautiful quotes. It doesn't imprison us. So karma is going to influence our situation, but you do have certain choices. That's what we are going to deep dive. All I'm talking is from the Mahabharata Vanaparva. Only thing is that I just modernize the language. That's all. Even the example is a literal copy from the Mahabharata. So just understand that. Okay. So let's continue. The first point is everyday experience. Same effort, different results. One person studies like 7 hours, another person prepares 1 hour. Sometimes that 1 hour, the results exceed that 7 hours. So it's in our life, same effort, different results for two people. For the same person, same amount of effort, sometimes you get like faster results, sometimes you get slower results, and sometimes you get opposite results. Sometimes the success comes very easily. Sometimes whatever effort you put, like the success will not come. So the whole idea is life does not respond mechanically to the effort. It's not that 1 unit of effort, 1 unit of result. There is an X factor, hidden variable. Like that is what we need to understand. So you are not the author of your results completely, but you are the author of your actions. And the probability of you to get the best result is control what you can and try to mitigate the risk of the uncontrollable, hidden variables. This is the basic rule of life. And when we fail to understand this, the life becomes very complicated. You don't have explanation. You will blame God. You will blame every situation. So understand this. This is very important. We have we certainly have some control, but our effort is not alone going to determine the results. And I don't have to explain this to you. This is not fatalism. This is not destiny. Like there are some influencing factors, but it's not that somebody has written everything in your head. Absolutely not. That's the difference we need to understand. So this is our everyday experiences, and then we will continue. Prārabdha karma in our daily life, we need to understand. So what exactly is the karma that is active in our current life is known as Prārabdha karma. So the whole idea is the past influencing the present, right? Portion of the past karma definitely is going to influence the present moment. Last week we saw, we don't know what exactly is the karma influencing the results or current action. We don't know. But we know for sure that something influences our current results. Those who study AI, they can understand this. When you go to deep learning, you know that a large language model is trained with so much of data. But what exactly is the knowledge that influencing the output of a particular query? Only God knows. We have no idea. And that is why you get sometimes hallucinations, sometimes unexpected results, etc. Right? This is what it is. And also look at that. If you give the same prompt to a large language model many times, you get different results. So this is exactly like that. What exactly is the past karma that is going to influence my tomorrow's karma? We don't know. That is all under the governance of that universal intelligence called Ishvara. And that is why Ishvara is known as Karma Phaladata. Karma Phaladata. And that is why Ishvara has a name called Janardana. Janardana means the one who blesses the humanity and the one who punishes the humanity. The punishment is symbolic. It's not that God is punishing you. It is just because of our doing, because of our past karma, we are getting the results. That's it. The God law is just. There is no partiality at all. So, the past influencing the present is, it shapes the circumstances. It shapes, meaning it shapes the situations, it timing and unique challenges. All this will be based on the karma, and that must be experienced. You cannot choose what karma is going to come. That is coming as per the natural law of the universe. But you can do something. See, this is, just think about this. This is true for every life situations. Currently, there is a market uncertainty. I don't have to explain you. Those who are in the United States, they, you know, right? Nobody is getting jobs, and the like a lot of people are losing jobs on a day by day basis. So we don't know. Let's say that you are an employee. What you can control and what you cannot control. Can you control how the market should behave? Absolutely not. It's not in your control. But there are certain things you can control. What is that? You can keep yourself up to date. You can get ready for a change if that is the self-effort. So the whole idea is control, put effort where you have some control, and pray for the rest. This is the whole idea. You all might have heard this serenity prayer, beautiful prayer. What it says, "Oh God, give me the courage or strength to face what I cannot change." What is that? Give me the strength to work on or change what I can change. And the last one is what? Give me the wisdom to know what I can change and what I cannot change. Usually I try to change everything I don't have any control. And I don't put a single effort to change where I have control. And this we need to understand. When you understand this, you will be able to choose the actions wisely, and you will be able to execute the actions wisely. And this is what makes the actions diligent, dexterous, and everything. When somebody does that, the karmas become karma yoga. And this is why the beautiful definition of the karma yoga is given. We are going to cover when we go back to the Bhagavad Gita. Yogaha karmasu kaushalam. Please understand that karmasu kaushalam means, suppose somebody is efficient in doing certain activity, that is not yoga. Swami Dayananda used to say, then pickpocket, the person who is doing the pickpocket is karma yogi. He is the best karma yogi because he is extremely skilled in his action. It is the ability to choose the right action, ability to execute it wisely, that with the right attitude, that is the kushalata. And when you do that, naturally the efficiency of the action will increase. So it's not that if the execution is like efficient, you cannot call somebody as karma yogi. So this is based on the theory of karma. This is defined. Let's continue. So the big question, if everything is determined by the Prārabdha, then are the results are fixed, or does the effort makes any difference? If you literally takes nimitta matram bhavasarvasajin, like everything has happened, whether you do the war or not, everybody is already killed. So what is the point of you doing something? That's not what Krishna is saying. So the question is your effort has some value or not? That's what we are going to deep dive today. So, I think this is a little bit of repetition, but try to understand. Every day we act with hope, planning, and effort. Sometimes the effort will bring quick success, and sometimes equal effort brings delay or resistance. And this is the important question. Like, what is the role of effort and what is the role of karma? So now let's go to the real determinant of results. The outcome of an action is self-effort plus influence of karma. The self-effort can be translated into adhisthana, karana, And it's a little bit of overlap, but you can understand that. Simply understand this: the outcome of an action is determined by a self effort plus the influence of your karma. Okay, so let's say that if the influence of karma is -10 and your self effort is 5, what is going to happen? Negative results we will get. If the influence of the karma is +10 and if your effort is 2, you get +12. Correct? This is what you need to understand. So, self-effort, which is known as Prayatna, karmic influences, which is called as Deva or Prārabdha, these two together is going to determine the results of an action. Right? This is what it is. Effort is required and karma influences the result. In other words, effort is essential, karma is influential. Usually neither works alone. This is the rule. This is what in Mahabharata Vanaparva Yudhishthira was taught by Panchali. So the whole story is Yudhishthira was sitting in near the Gandhamadana Parvata. At that time, Panchali was a little bit sad. She asked, "You are the greatest dharmishta in the whole universe. Why you need to suffer? As far as I know, you did 1 or 2 mistakes. Of course, nobody is like 100% black and white. There is some gray shades in everyone. But if I look at your life is skewed with good karmas. No doubt about it. Even your opponent will not say like or contradict that. So why you are suffering?" Yudhishthira said, "That is karma." And then Panchali, after some time, came back and apologized to him. She says, "When I was a child, a sage came to my palace and taught me all the karma theory. I forgot that. And now I realize, and let me tell you that whole karma theory." And that is where you see the whole karma is systematically unfolded in the Mahabharata Vanaparva. And all these points are coming directly from there. So this one slide, if you keep in mind, this is the key. Yeah, Prayatna plus the karma or the Devam is determining the results. Usually we will, like the rational people, they ignore that Deva factor. And I don't have to tell you. It's very evident from our own experience in our life. The influence of Deva. And the fatalistic people, they don't do anything. Everything is predetermined. That is also equally true. So the middle path is the correct path. When you understand law of karma, it makes you more responsible rather than like fatalistic. This is the point. Let's continue. Okay. So Devam or the Prārabdha is often considered as fate. It is the past karma simply manifesting. That's it. Deva Hitam or the Deva, like it's the will of God. The will of God is what? It is based upon what is Ishvara. Go back to our original definition in the book 1 itself. Natural order of the universe. So it is the governance principle. It is the principle that ensure that all the laws are enforced correctly. So if I did some karma, I should get the result. No doubt about it. I may escape the law of the land, but I will not escape the cosmic law. 100%. So Devam simply means past karma now manifesting or maturing. It appears sometimes as support, because if it is a punyam, it appears as a support, and if it is a papam, it appears as a resistance, like, or Every culture has a word called luck or bad luck. And that is exactly what it, if you translate that into modern language. So Devam is not random, it is the earned influence. This is again Panchali's words. Look at the beautiful thing. It is the earned influence is called Devam. That's it. There is proper justice there. Okay. So now let's see the different scenario. When karma supports our effort, when positively influence, what is going to happen? Favorable past karma amplifies the present effort. Understand that. Favorable past karma amplifies the present effort. Small effort may yield large results. I just did a startup business. I attended a conference. Suddenly I got a venture capitalist. The business clicked. I became a millionaire. There are several cases like that. And I was looking for a job. I just went to a conference. I accidentally met with somebody. Immediately I got the job even without an interview. The other thing can happen. Somebody performed very nicely in the interview. Suddenly a job freeze. That can also happen. So that's what it is. Progress feels smooth and timely. Sometimes life flow with us when the karma aligns with us. This is very important. Now, what could be the opposite? When the karma resists the effort, what is going to happen? Unfavorable past karma reduces the immediate results. You feel more resistance. Greater effort is needed for small gains. Delays, obstacles, and it tests your patience. That's it. This is the, just think about that mathematical equation, right? Like A times effort plus B times influences. If the effort is 5, influence is minus 5, no results. If the effort is 5, the influence is minus 3. You put the effort for 5, but what you are gaining is 2. See, I tried to simplify this with binary parameters, but this has billions of parameters. So it will be a very complicated mathematical model, properly governed by the universal order, but it influences. This is karma. So the next is, this table, if you really look into this table, this categorizes everything, right? Karmic influences, Devam. Very favorable karma. What happens? Level of self-effort, minimal effort. What is the observed outcome? Large, smooth results. Isn't it? If the karma is too good, you put little bit of effort, very minimal effort, you will get great effort. Favorable karma. It's not that extraordinary karma, but favorable karma. Like moderate effort, you will see progress. Neutral karma. Sustained effort, you see the proportional results according to, because there is no other influencer. The result will be exactly like your work. Resistant karma, high effort, slow progress. Strongly obstructive karma, you put whatever effort, you don't see any progress, little visible progress. This is what it is. But any karmic condition, no effort, like no growth. Sometimes you may get results, but absolutely no growth. Without effort, because karma is the purifier of your mind. If you don't do karma, the life stagnant. Na karmana manarambha naishkarmyam purushosnuti. The 3rd chapter Krishna tells, without karma, karma is the greatest purifier. So the mala nivritti, the cleansing of the mind will not happen. So without effort, there is no progress. Therefore, do your karma. That is what Krishna tells. Okay, so just giving one illustration. This is from Mahabharata again. Karma and effort, right? So imagine the river has some current, strong current. Like you are you are meaning swimming in sideways and there is a strong push. You don't need to swim, you just stay there. The waves will take you to the next level. Then what happened? Favorable karma, little bit of effort. Neutral karma, your swimming effort will going to take. Resistant karma, you need to swim more. Strongly or destructive karma, like whatever you swim, it may not reach there. Outcome. This is a beautiful example from the Mahabharata, crossing the river. So this is what I wanted to cover before I hand over to Avanti. But let me quickly give the final point. So the karma influences the life situations. Effort determines the response and growth. Results arise from karma plus result. Even delayed results refine the doer. Like even if you don't get that results, the effort itself is going to purify. Without the effort, you will not progress. And next week, I'll hand over to Avanti, but next week we are going to talk about what should I do? When karma is not aligned, how do you detect that? And how do you respond to that? And what are all my options? And is karma is fate completely? We are going to see what is the literal meaning of the fate, what is the literal meaning of destiny, and why this Bhagavad Gita shloka is completely like, what exactly is the true meaning of that shloka? And then what can I do when situations don't go in my way? Scripture gives beautiful answers, so we'll study that. And then what should be the lifestyle I should adopt so that I can progress? Those are the topics in the next 2-3 weeks, and that will complete the karma series.
Okay. So I think 7 sessions in, we have somehow managed to demystify this whole karma theory. I don't know about you all, but it's demystified in my head for sure. Just listening to Rajesh ji and trying to elaborate on everything that he said, you just have to pay attention to what is being said and put it against your own life, moment by moment. And the best way to do is, I think nobody's a child on this panel, I'm sure, at least the faces that I see. We've lived long enough. We've lived long enough to now look back at what we've studied in these 7 sessions and literally put it against what has happened in our life. And then only you're able to understand. If we look at karma as Arjuna's karma, Yudhishthira's karma, we're never going to understand. We have to look at it as Avanti's karma, Radha's karma, Rohitji's karma. Then we will understand how it plays out. Okay. So now, just to bring it all together, we've seen very clearly the word karma is not only his bad karma, my bad karma. It splits into 2. Kriya, that is what we are constantly doing, the action, and the result of what we have done and what we are doing. When we looked at the 5 things that are responsible for karma, we saw there is adhishtanam. I'm going to use adhishtanam only as your body, because no matter where you are, in what circumstance, whether you are a wife, whether you are a corporate owner, whether you are a plumber, whether you are a teacher, the body is your adhishtanam. It is from the body that we are doing stuff. If we asked also how is karma created, when we looked at it, Rajesh put it in the chart, 3 ways karma is created. One is through the body, actions, one is through speech, and one is through mind. So where do all these things, what is the adhishtanam for karma to happen? It is body. So we'll hold it as body. Then we looked at the instruments. Instruments also we will simplify very basic to 5 sense organs, 5 organs of actions, the mind and the intellect. Without these instruments, you cannot act at all in the world. Okay? All these instruments again rest within your body. Then we looked at that karta bhav, that pseudo ego, that pseudo self that says, I am doing, I am doing. And if you saw in chapter 2 till where we've covered, Krishna has consistently said, I don't do anything. The self doesn't do anything. Okay, it's not the doer, it's not the enjoyer. Then we saw cheshta, most important for us right now, because we are trying to now focus on the kriyaman and agami karma. So what this entire session just now covered was effort. So very, very important to understand that cheshta, that effort, actually all of these four are very much in our hands. I'll explain why, but let's focus on cheshta. That effort comes back to what we studied in the last class, has to start aligning with the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. Right now, all our efforts are, I want this because I want it, my way or the highway. The Bhagavad Gita is trying to create a distance between your effort and what you have to do, what you ought to do in life. Karyam karma karoti yaha. And what you ought to do in life is very much decided by what you have brought from the past already. Suppose if you have brought into your life situation a marriage, a family, aren't you supposed to do that? Or would you just say, no, this is not what I desire. That person is living a very nice bachelor life. So now I say goodbye to my family and I take off over there. No, we are not Buddha yet. Buddha had gone through 543 lives to say, okay, I cannot live with my wife and boy. I'm going to go on my own and find realization. But many times we use spiritual bypassing to get rid of what we have to do and start taking up something else. So very, very important to understand that. Now, when we look at these instruments, I haven't gone to the fifth reason for karma, how karma happens. These four are very much in our hand. Our body is in our hand, how we look after it. Right now, we are constantly looking after the body to indulge it. We are not looking after the body as the only instrument, the only vehicle to exhaust our karmas and to walk towards self-realization. Please try and contemplate upon this throughout the week, throughout life. Why am I here? To self-realize. If I am in the human birth, and if I'm sitting with the Bhagavad Gita in my hand on a Tuesday night in a class like this, where I could be doing anything else, why am I here? And the only way that you can self-realize is through the human body. The chance, the opportunity that you have over here is through the human body. So to shift that focus on I am using this body to indulge it more and more and more, rather than I'm taking care of this body to go towards the self. And I can only go towards the self. This is no secret. It will come through the Bhagavad Gita all the time, is no karmas, no vasanas, no sankalpas, no desires. Only that will take us to self-realization. So to shift that focus, how, and consistently through the Bhagavad Gita, we are not saying this, in the Bhagavad Gita, constantly he'll say, rein in the senses, rein in the mind, focus the intellect on me. All the time he's saying these four things, Adhishtanam, instruments, the doer bhav, and your effort, let it all be directed towards self-realization. Otherwise, you're going to be lost in the sea. Otherwise, just for a moment, just think for a moment, okay? You're doing karma to realize the self, but you're not doing the karma right. You're creating more karma. I mentioned it briefly. I gave a very silly, childish example, but that example fits with even the most learned. The whole point is we have come with baggage into this life, correct? If we go back to the Sanchita and the Prārabdha. Prārabdha is the bags that we have taken or we've been allotted through the Sanchita and we've come into this life. Listen to this example very carefully. So we are allowed 2 checked-in baggages. We are allowed 1 handbag, let's just say. That's only how much one lifetime can handle, right? If we come with our entire wardrobe, we're not going to be able to live it. So we come with that. The point in simple baby language is when you die, which is only a comma, it is only change in journey, it's not a full stop. When you go back there, you have to be at least without the checked-in baggage, please. Okay, you go back with the hand luggage, it's fine. Try not even. The whole point is not even hand luggage. You go back empty. I don't have anything. Whatever I came with, I have exhausted over here. Now, what are we doing? Because we don't understand Karma Yoga, which we will understand beautifully when we come to chapter 3, even the book is coming along so well, is we will be able to empty these baggages correctly. We may not be able to empty it all, but at least we'll go back lighter, Now what we are doing without the Bhagavad Gita in hand, we've come with our bags. We are going back with excess baggage. We literally are paying for excess baggage. You people live in the US. How many times have you come back from India with excess baggage? Pickles and I don't know what is allowed now. That time many things were allowed when I was there. So we pay extra and come back. The whole idea is come back with as less as you can make those bags. And the only way to make it less is through learning the art of karma yoga, the idea of exhaustion, the idea of completion. A beautiful line my teacher keeps saying, the only way to live this life, I hold this line to my heart, end every perception with perception. Whatever you are doing in life, end it there. You love Pani Puri, go there, eat 5 Pani Puris, end the experience there. Don't go back 20,000 of what a great Pani Puri, what a great Pani Puri. When am I going next to eat the Pani Puri? Okay, I'm going to eat 10 more Pani Puris. That is how we carry back, regurgitate like cows. You know what cows do, right? They eat the fodder, they take it in, then they take it out again, and then they're again chewing it. If we are not completing our karmas, our experiences in life, how the hell are we going to empty it all out? It's impossible. So just thinking about that, ending each experience with experience, it's not possible right away, but as we study the Bhagavad Gita, we will understand it better and better. So these are the instruments. The fifth one, which I didn't speak about, is Daivam. Now that Daivam, we just put it into the Phalam. Remember, I said 2 things are karma. One is Kriya, one is Phalam. So let's put Daivam into the Phalam. We don't know. We don't know how things come together. Ghana, Karmana, Gati, we keep saying that. We don't know which karma and which karma come together. And you're walking on the road and you fall down in the dark. You're all alone. Out of the blue, there's nobody on the roads. And it's actually happened to me. That's why I'm saying this example. There's nobody there. Out of the blue, some unknown person comes and all the way till your hospital admission, that person is with you. What do you explain? How do you explain that? Some good karma from somewhere has come. That man came, saw you and took you somewhere, right? In the same way, you're doing nothing. You're just going on the road nicely and you get into a bumper to bumper and there's a huge fiasco. No fault of yours. Like one of my students was in India just now, was in Pune. And she was just walking on the road, literally, just coming out to do some shopping. And one dog came by, looked at her, growled, barked, bit her, stray dog, and walked away. No confrontation, no nothing. And she's looking, she's saying, and she came back and said, this has to be karma. I must have bitten that dog somewhere. I mean, that's just a silly correlation. But why did this happen? She didn't go chasing the dog. She didn't go hitting. It just came. So we don't understand what is happening when. When it happens, we address it right. That is your cheshta. So Daivam is something that we don't understand. We don't know what the logistics are. We don't know which 2 karmas come together and what we do. But we do have control about how we keep on addressing that karma. Now, very interesting question Rajeshji also asked just now when he was explaining. Are we truly helpless? I've said this before. Shivani ji says, only the truly free have free will. Okay? Only the truly free have free will. And 1 or 2 of us got a bit hyper about that. That no, that means how can we not have free will? I'll explain this. Arjuna asks in the Gita, he asks Krishna, so often, I know what I have to do. What's the right thing to do? But I'm not able to do that. I'll end up doing the wrong thing. And Krishna answers very well. He says it's that karma, raga that you're bringing from the past into this life. It has a vega, it has a momentum. So what are we again saying? What is Krishna reiterating? That the Prārabdha, who you are, what you are, has a particular force. Vega is remember this word, it's force. It has a force of its own. That force is hard to control. I gave that example of the car on a highway. If the car is zooming at 150 kilometers an hour on some German highway, even if you take your hands, the foot off the pedal, it's going to go on till it stops. So that is very, very hard to control. It's got its force. Now, imagine what level of cheshta, what level of self-effort you are going to need within you to counteract that. If you are an angry person and you're going to shout at every single person that you come across, how much self-effort is it going to take for you to keep quiet once in one argument? So you understand why we feel helpless? It's not because the circumstances are making us helpless. Prārabdha is changeable, it's addressable. But how much effort we have to exert to put in an effort to come a bit higher, one step higher than what we were. So Krishna himself agrees that it's got a momentum, and that is why even knowing, don't eat this, you are eating that because of your habitual patterns. And trust me, don't mess around with that. Even willpower, when people take up sankalpas, 1 month I will not eat this, 1 month I will not do this. After that is over, they go back to what they decided not to do 10 times over. I have people I know who do Tirupati Yatra once a year. This is really funny. They go once a year to Tirupati. 1 month before the Yatra, they will not watch any movies. They will not eat non-vegetarian food. They will not eat whatever thing. They will not even indulge in marital relationships for one month. Very strict. And oh my God, the world is bowing to them. Wow, what willpower. The minute they make that climb to Tirupati, down, and that's it. They are back in the first non-veg restaurant they can find. They're back with all the South Indian movies. And if you know some of the South Indian movies, how they are. So that self-will, that willpower is not something that can sustain us to the end. Very, very, very important to understand that. So that is what Krishna is saying, that it has a vega of its own. It's very hard to transcend. And then later Arjuna also says that all that you're saying, and I think all of us can say that all that is being said in this class is very, very understandable, but it's very difficult to do, Krishna. It's very difficult. It is difficult to get my mind under control, more difficult than it would be to capture the wind and pin it down, to control the wind. That beautiful shloka also comes. And again, Krishna doesn't say, oh, what an idiot you are. You don't understand anything. He comes down to Arjuna's level and he says, yes, Arjuna. There is no asamshaya, there is no doubt, absolutely no doubt that the human mind is very hard, I won't say to control, to retrain. This prarabdha of our mind, of our intellect, of our buddhi, of our actions, very, very difficult to retrain. But he uses two amazing words, vairagya and abhyasa. With vairagya and abhyasa, you will be able to change this mind and do the right thing. What is vairagya? It does not mean renunciation. In what we are talking, vairagya is to abstain instantly from what you've always been doing. When I always do what I've always been doing, I'll always get what I've always gotten, right or wrong. But you know how much effort it takes to stop yourself in the act, bring yourself back and do something different. That is vairagya in this context of what we are speaking. And abhyasa is consistently practice. Keep practicing it. Keep practicing it. I have a very snappy nature. I keep snapping at my husband. 100 times I'm snapping at my husband. Today I snap 99 times. Pat on the back. Abhyasa. Tomorrow I practice again. It's come down to 98. One lower quality of us takes that amount of abhyasa to change. So until we change that, we are helpless with prarabdha. So change what? Not that. Unless we change this, we are helpless with prarabdha. The minute we start changing this, prarabdha starts changing. Gandhiji's famous quote, be the change you want to see. You change and everything else changes. And I'm not speaking this from scriptures. So many situations in my life that I have headbutted against all my life. Simply when my perspective changed, when my approach changed, it all settled. Like Rajesh so beautifully said, we are trying to change what we cannot change. So something to take note of over there. Another interesting thing is when we were talking about karma phala data. I don't know how many of you all are very familiar with this word called Chitragupta. Do you know who Chitragupta? You must have heard it in tales and all. Chitragupta is the celestial accountant, supposedly. Santa's elf who keeps Good boy, naughty boy. Good girl, naughty boy. You'll get presents this year, you won't get presents that year. That's happening in Santa Claus era. But for us, it's Chitragupta who keeps the accounts. You've done good, you've done wrong. There's no Chitragupta over there. Listen to this carefully. I got goosebumps when I heard it the first time. Chitra means what? Picture. Okay? It's a picture. Picture speaks louder than a million words. Okay? Chitra is picture. Gupta is secret. Now your conditioned consciousness, not the I self-witness that is watching everything without any interference, not the electricity that does not care whether you're putting it in the fan or in the aircon, not that, but that conditioned consciousness which knows what you're doing, which knows what you're saying, which knows how you're behaving, how you're thinking, how you're feeling. With every action, Rajesh has discussed this in a previous class, with every action, it is embellishing a picture on that conditioned consciousness that's going to go on to your next life. You understand? So when we say that what we are reaping now is what we have sown, it is your own Chitragupta inside who's very aware of what has happened and is bringing it back to your life. So again, there is no God sitting. I wouldn't believe in that God. Such an unkind, such a dispassionate God. What a strange God that would be. Either if he was doing lottery tickets or if he was just saying, I'm going to punish you now, I'm not going to punish you now. Chitra, it's your own conditioned consciousness that is carrying forward, that has those impressions. Every action that we do makes an impression. That impression becomes again the Prārabdha that we're going to come back with, goes into the Sanchita. The serenity prayer, I have only 5 minutes. The serenity prayer, the most beautiful prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage and ability to change the things I can, but above all, the wisdom to know the difference. And that wisdom is what the Bhagavad Gita brings. By explaining, by demystifying the karma series, hopefully, by the end of the series, each of us will understand, this is my Prārabdha karma. Within this Prārabdha karma, this part of it, I cannot change. This part of it, I can change, but I'm finding it hard to change. I cannot, it's hard for me to change. Mahabaho, help me. Krishna, help me. Then we put in the teachings and we start changing this. The wisdom to know that is what changes lives, not even the action that we do to change. Just to know, most of the time we're putting all our effort into trying to change what we cannot change. And that's where we are losing human life, human time. But if only we understand, okay, this I cannot change, that might be 90% of what you can't change. But the 10% that we can, if we do it right, that's where karma starts changing. Then that beautiful slide that Rajesh used, self-effort plus karmic influence. Please save that slide because that really explains it all. The question to that slide would be, I'm doing everything right. I'm studying the Gita. I'm doing all what I have to do. Why are things not changing in my life? Very ardent question. And that is why most people give up spirituality. People come to spirituality. People come to Bhagavad Gita. People go to gurus to be touched over here so that their Prārabdha can be changed. Prārabdha could not be changed for anybody, not even for Krishna. When Gandhari cursed him that you will be killed in the most unfortunate way, Krishna didn't say, oh, I'm God, it will not happen to me. He was killed his body was, put to rest in the most unfortunate way. So we cannot come to the scriptures to change that. So what is happening over here? We've come with a certain bank balance. Either it is a negative bank balance or it is a positive bank balance. Our Purushartha, if we have a negative bank balance, whatever right we are doing now, maybe a lifetime will go in trying to get that negative bank balance to zero, that I don't owe anything more. After that, the fruits of what you will continue to do will start coming into action. But that karma that is already done needs to be settled. We don't understand that. And one thing, when Krishna says later on in chapter 16, when he splits, Daivic people and demonic and God people, when he splits, he tells Arjuna, don't worry that you are here, you already have the Daivic qualities. So for anybody who's touched the scripture, we have not come with such a big negative bank balance. We've come with a lot of positive. So now it's just a matter of consistently putting in our right effort so that we can continue to change what is there. The problem is that we get disheartened. Oh, I've come for Gita classes, I've studied, I'm doing the right thing, I'm becoming a doormat, somebody's being even meaner to me. We give up. The whole process of spirituality is not, the prayers are not to change circumstances. The prayers are to change the one who is praying. When we look at our national emblem, the lotus, it's in kichad. It's in absolute dirt. The point is not to remove the dirt. The point is to bloom like that lotus. So whatever we have around us, we just have to continue to see, can we be better because of it, not worse? Are you becoming bitter with every experience? Then you're exasperating karma. Are you becoming better with every experience? Then you are exhausting karma. You understand difference between exasperation and exhaustion. Two very different things. Right now, because we don't have the knowledge, it's always, why me? This is not fair. I'm going to hit back. I'm going to do this. I'm not going to accept this. But the minute we come into that part in ourselves which says, this is what it is. Can I be better than this? That is how it starts changing. I know there'll be a question on, oh, then if I'm always a better person, then I'll become the doormat. And when do I know when is enough? Even Arjuna stood up to fight. That can be a whole class in its own. When do you know enough is enough? And when do you have to stand up to address your karma? But a few things that you could remember about this. And the natural order of the universe, the last thing I'll say today is very important to understand. The entire world rests on cause and effect. We've explained this very nicely in book 1. Please pick it up and read Ishvara, because if you understand Ishvara, Gita is easier to understand. So the entire natural order of the universe, you can fool it. So many people, they do wrong things and they're acquitted by the court. But Swami Ramatirtha, one of the greatest saints and the least known saints of India, in the Woods of God realization, you should read those books. They're like they'll shake you apart, tear you apart. But he used to always say, even if nobody has seen what you have done, the grass beneath your foot stands witness. The air that passes about you stands witness. The birds that are on top of you stands witness. So that natural order cannot be shifted. So what is our thing? At every point, consciously, forget about the slips we have. We all will have slips right till the end. But consciously, whatever right we can do, how we are going to do it, we'll study in the next classes. We continue to do without faltering. And that's what starts changing the karma all the time. If you have a good load of good karma, positive karma behind you, it's going to act like a tailwind in an aeroplane. It's going to push you ahead faster. If there's a lot of, I won't say bad karma, but negative, not so good karma, then that would become the tailwind. But whether it's headwind, whether it's tailwind, we continue to put purushartha, because without purushartha, there can be no change in any karma. And that purushartha has to be aligned only to the Shastras.